Well, lots to think about, a lot going on in the world now, and we are in this place within the research enterprise that we're finally grappling with some long-seated, long-rooted issues as they relate to race, as it relates to the impact of devaluing um, groups of individuals based on characteristics that they had no control over. So when institutions, whatever that kind of institution is, academic, nonprofit, professional society, federal agency, whatever, is deciding that it's time, that it's the right thing to do, but um, it's about ethics and morality, and not just feel good right thing, but actually the right thing to do. What is it about the activities and the energy that these institutions need to grapple with that will sustain their efforts so that the movement moves past rhetoric, moves past sessions and abstract submissions and grant funding and all of those temporary forces. What's going to sustain this as it needs to be sustained? How will institutions create that change in their institution that will remain? How will it remain? That's the question. So what's new revelations or new enlightenments for some communities or some groups or some individuals, some departments, some labs? What's new for some has been the standard procedure for others. It's like the new world mentality. We being the royal we, and I'm I guess projecting myself into the past for all the quote unquote explorers of the time back 5, 6, 700 years ago, or even more, when they talked about this side of the world, this hemisphere, this land that was not theirs. And they were going to see, or they discovered the new world, someone was already here. So we don't have to go into those levels of detail. We recognize that. But it's that same mentality now that the scholarship, the books, the verbiage, the models, the programming, the energy that many have developed, have applied, have had great success with, is the way that many of the communities that this work came out of have allowed the communities to be resilient and to be sustained. And it's not new to those communities, but it's new all of a sudden to everyone else who's now coming in. So one thing we could do is make sure you critique yourself or your institution, be very candid about the self-reflection that's necessary for that institution, and then be intentional about the scholarship that's already been done, seeking out that scholarship, but also engaging the original people who generated that scholarship, center them, elevate them, value them in your own economy, because they're already valued because they're human, but they may be devalued in your economy. So, critique what it is about your economy. What's the value system in your economy, and what's the currency that makes your economy run? And then ask yourself, why am I seeking other currency? Why am I seeking other ways of knowing? Okay, and not only why am I seeking, but what am I prepared to do to allow the transference of that currency into my economy and for that currency to maintain its value. Because any time I go on vacation to another country, I carry with me the currency from my home country, but there's an exchange system that, as best as it can, keeps the value of what I'm bringing so that I can operate in the new realm that I'm moving into. So what are institutions going to do about adjusting their exchange rates and their economies to receive what people who've been excluded from that economy, what they're going to bring to that economy and make it even better? What are institutions going to do about that? Because once the currency gets moved into the economy and there's new growth and production in the economy, then that's when the sustainability will happen, right? And that's when there has to be increased intention and attention to codifying the new energy that's in there, creating the new policies around that new energy and new production, and the individuals that are part of that production and generative energy. All right, policies, codes of conduct, operating procedures. As the line in the famous musical Hamilton would say, I want to be in the room where it happens. Okay, individuals that have been excluded need to be in the room where it happens, and what is being asked of them or what may be received from them needs to be part of the regulatory process, the political process of that institution, with a small p, not politics like DC politics, and so that there's not this wave of energy and then it dissipates and we're back to the status quo. We can't go back to the status quo because we see where the status quo has got us. Can't be exclusionary. We have to be very inclusive and we have to be very intentional about that. So I applaud the URGE team, the founders, the leaders, those that are continuing to work, and folks all across the country that have caught on to the necessity of this, and over the months I've really plugged into this idea of these URGE pods and information sharing, safe space, et cetera, et cetera. It's awesome. NSF is really glad to be a partner in this. I personally am excited about what this may bring, what's going to come of it, and I'm looking forward to the future and continuing to watch URGE grow and to be a part of that growth.